Hello and welcome to another online tutorial. My name is Anna McCauley and today we're going to be having a look at doing a see-through frame, and we're actually going to be creating this image here. How cool does it look? After you've learned how to do these step-by-step instructions, you then can apply it to your own images. I have worked a little bit on these images and I'll explain that as I go, and I also want you then to watch another tutorial which explains how to, for example, cut out the fence and cut out the background and stuff to prepare your images for this, and you'll soon understand what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. So the first thing you are to do is to go to File, Scripts, Load File into Stack. That comes up with a Load Layer Browser, and then you're going to go Browse. And that takes us into our My Computer folder, and you are going to select these three images, which is Background Example, Fence Example, and Portrait Clear. To access these, you need to download them onto your computer first. Your teacher can access this through the Google site, or alternatively I'll try and leave it with the YouTube clip in some way. Now open up all three. See how I just highlighted all of those? And then click Open. They come up here, all three, so there you can check that you've got those files there. If you're happy with those, you go OK. We don't need to attempt to align them automatically because they're not the same sort of image, and we're going to go OK. Great, so all three images are in there. Now it really depends on which ones you clicked first and what order. So what we're going to do is we're going to order them correctly. So if you click onto Fence Example in your Layers palette, you're dragging that up to the top, like so. Then click on Portrait Clear and make sure, see how when you click on it, it goes blue? It's in the middle. So our three files are now lined up and we are ready to go. So you can also see here how the fence example is cut out. So you can see if I turn off this one, I can see through it, and I'll show you how to do that as well. It's not too hard. So what we're going to do is once again use a layer mask, and all we're going to do is to cut out some of the portrait underneath the fence, so we don't have to worry about cutting the fence out. I thought that was the easiest way to do it. You go to Portrait Clear Background, make sure you click on that, and you're going to layer mask. Here we go. The third one along, add layer mask, click on that. You can tell you've done that because it produces a white box next to your picture. Once you've done that, we are going to work, always in layer mask you work with black and white, and you're going to work with your brush tool. So that's where your brush tool is, or you can press B. You see the shortcut there? So we're going to work with black. Easily use the brush tool to rub out what patches I want. So here we go. So not hard, is it? So I'm just holding my mouse down and we're going to rub out some squares. So you get the idea. So rubbing out some squares, and you can choose which ones you want to rub out. Now if you did something like I just did, the best thing about doing a layer mask is that you can undo. So if you go Control Plus, blows it up, hold your space bar down, you then can get the opposite color, which is white, and rub it out. See? Very cool. So this is where you can get, quite detailed. I also have my brush tool. You go up here on a hard surface edge because I don't want it to be blurry. So I have it on hard. Alright. So we can see I've just changed back to black and I can keep adding. So now I'm holding my space bar down. You can see the hand come up, and that helps you drag it down if you want to stay this zoomed up. It's probably easier to, so you can look at more details. There's a bit of a texture on the surface there, and that's fine because it sort of adds to it anyway. So now I'm going to rub out some more. Rub, rub, rub. So you get the idea pretty quickly how easy it is, because cut out the fence layer first. Should I do it right? No, why not? So cutting out the fence layer first means we don't have to care about how close we're going to that fence, because it's up here and we're not, so it's up here and I'm not touching it at all. Click back down, click on your mask. Oops, so I went over there, so go to my white, go back. So go click back to your black. Yeah, cut that out. Oh, went over again. Try and be careful. Go back to white. Go back to black. Oh, make sure you're on your brush tool. Rub that out too. As you can see, now I added many more squares, and that is pretty much it. So that's creating it. So what you've got here is over on your layers palette, you can see where you've done black is where it's masking out. So after we do that, that's all done, and it was as easy as that. So what you need to do then, if you're really happy with it, you then go to Layer, Flatten Image, because you always want to end up with one layer. You see how that's one layer there? I'm just going to click Unlock, and I'm just going to perhaps tweak it a little bit. So if you go, for example, Control U, which is hue saturation, Control U, you're just going to add maybe a bit more saturation, perhaps go easy with that. Darker, lighter, you can play around with it. This is pretty good, I think, so I don't need to do too much to it, but you can do a lot. Like you could colorize it, for example, all sorts of things in there. Go OK, and there you have it. Really simple exercise to do a see-through frame. I hope you